Hi everyone. Thank you, Gabby. As Gabby said, my name is Elena, and today I'm going to talk about smart coding for marketing, UA hacking. So let me introduce myself first. I'm a marketing manager at Mytona. I joined company in 2015. And was one of the first in marketing department. I'm currently working on such titles as the Secret Society Social and Seekers Notes and new upcoming titles. About Mytona, we are free to play mobile game developer and publisher. We established in 2005, and we are creators of such hidden object games like the Secret Society and Seekers Notes. Seekers Notes right now in top 20 grossing games in iPad. It made huge success in Western market, and we're expanding to Asia. During the last year, company grew 5 times, and we are not planning to stop on it. We're planning some exciting, great titles this year. So, Mytona originated from Yakuza, which is northeast part of Russia. It's the coldest place on Earth with -50 during winter, which is 6 months. But we have hot but really short summer and then winter again. And during this cold, long winter nights, we make games. So today here, I'm going to teach you guys how to reach out the ladies. Okay, let me start. We all know all big market players like Clash of Clans, Game of War, Summoner's War, and seems like core games are market winners. But they have decent amount of players. They settle down in top charts. But if we look at grossing chart, we can see that casual games there. So big games like King, Gem City, or Ovio seems like good piece of pie still belongs to casual games. And in this competitive market, to make marketing for casual games is another different story. So what is about? Of course, first of all, game marketing starts from game design. So before to get any funding, you have to know for who you made your game. Right now, game marketing includes such points like target audience, for who you made your game, price, about budget and bidding, creatives, and analytics. So let me start from target audience. So what is different between core audience and casual audience? Casual audience is all about girls. According to a free global game market report from Newzoo, about 80% of casual game audience female. So it's all about how to attract female from 18 plus to install, play, and engage your game. Usually girls not consider themselves as a gamers. If you ask them like, are you gamer or do you play games? Probably you've got answers like, no, I'm not, or even, what are you talking about? Girls quite new in this industry. They usually play on trains during, like way back home, or while waiting like in a long queue, or during lunch break. Average session for casual users is about 30 to 40 minutes, and it's 25 longer than male audience. Another key point of this audience is size. It's huge. You know that about 70% of all females in the world play mobile games. It's about 3 to 3.5 billion users. It's quite a lot. And this audience actually has a higher revenue potential. We all know that girls are great shoppers. I'm sure like girls in this room knows the situation when we go shopping, just buy one lipstick and bag with like 10 shopping bags, shoes, clothes, and another shoes. So usually all our purchases not planned, but average unexpected amount of purchase is quite high. Before to move to budget and bidding, we need to think about our strategy. Your strategy depends on your goal, so what we would like to reach. We define 3 types of strategy based on your goal. First, if you like to reach top downloads, it's about just to get as many users as possible. Best source for this type of strategy is use incentivized traffic. It's cheap and broad, but you have to remember that this type of strategy works just for games with high virality, and if your key monetization point in ads. Next, if you like to check some in-game KPIs, for example, you've got new tutorial and want to check like, is it good or not compared with previous one. For example, you need 1,000 installs to check it. So for this type of strategy, you need really to get really targeted audience. Best source, of course, is Facebook. It have great targeting option. You can choose gender, country, interest, behavior of your user, etc. And next is if you like to reach top grossing. For top grossing strategy, you need to do your user acquisition gradually. It means that you have to get traffic, check your quality, highlight good sources, remove bad sources, then drive traffic again. Check your quality again, highlight good sources again, remove bad sources again, and then again and again. It helps you to grow your high quality user base and stay on the top charts. Okay, after you choose your strategy, you need to think about your bidding. So we all know that average CPI right now about 3 to 4 on the market. But in reality, big players bidding much higher, about 8 to 10 or even more. So here, like casual games, how to survive. So I here shared just some like tips how to do it in a smart way. First of all, I think gold rule number 1 for all user acquisition managers, your CPI should be lower or equal to your LTV. Just found your LTV, for example, if it's $2, start bidding at 2. Of course, you cannot get like 1,000 installs, but for casual games, there are some advantages. First, it's audience size. Because it's really broad, you have a higher chance to get user at $2 than core gamers. And another advantage is publishers. You know that most of publishers are casual games. So it's quite easy to convert a casual game user to another casual game. You need to think about seasoning. Its effects on your CPI. For example, during peak periods like Halloween, Christmas, end of quarter, end of the year, not only gaming companies are really active, but e-commerce as well. So you should be really accurate with your bidding and check your quality like constantly. So next is obvious, check your quality. Just choose KPIs and check it like constantly all the time. And what type of KPIs to check, I'll talk a bit later. And publishers. It's always good to know another side, supply side. So what type of publishers works best for you? Know number of impressions you get, what is CDR for one publisher, what is conversion rate for one specific publisher. So it helps you better optimize your campaigns. Another challenge for marketing is creative. It takes a lot of time and work. We did a lot of A/B tests. to find out what type of creative works best for casual audience. So here's example. We've tested light background versus dark background. So guess which one works better? Dark, light. Okay, who is for light? Hands up. Okay, and for dark? Yeah, few people. So actually in this case, light background works much better because girls generally like light and bright colors. Another case, we've tested human characters versus monsters. And in this case, human characters win. Girls just don't like scary things, that's all. I think another tip for casual games is follow e-commerce trends. These guys know how to attract girls around the world. Like they practice it like 1,000 years. And here's an example of how to do it. Actually, this type of ads, they take from e-commerce catalogs. So you can show a variety of your game, level 1, level 15, and so on. Of course, use call to actions like play now, go right away, and of course, flash sales. It works best for Instagram and Facebook because most e-commerce advertise there. And last but not least, analytics. On this stage, you have to work with your development team really closely, know what type of events right now in a game, any bugs which can prevent low KPI, any updates, new features, and so on. So what type of KPIs to choose? For our company, we choose retention rate and analytic and ROI. So for retention rate, you need to think about these numbers, check your quality on day 1, day 3, day 7, 14, and 30. And remember that during soft launch and global launch, numbers quite different. For example, from this chart, you can see that during our soft launch, graph is quite fluctuating because we've tested a lot of game mechanics, new features, new balance, and so on. And usually during global soft launch, numbers quite higher because of user base. So you can expect about 40% on day 1 and more than 15% on day 30 during soft launch. And for global launch, you can expect more than 35 and more than 10%. It's average numbers for casual games. So another key KPI for us is return on investment. Right now, all gaming companies start to track ROI because everybody wants to know when their investments return. So they just plan some budget and track ROI dynamics, but there is one hack method how to do it like in smart way to plan your budget in a smart way. So you need to forecast your ROI. So it helps you to take less risk while you're investing and think and plan about how to reinvest your return spend. So how to do it? Let's take a look at the formula, revenue divided by spend. If in terms of spend is quite obvious, your planned budget, revenue you need to predict. So what is revenue about? Revenue is how many users are going to make purchases in your game. So it's your user base and average revenue one user generates. In our case, it's RPDAU. So for RPDAU, you can find easily during soft launch or first month of global. DAU, you need to predict as well. So user base, actually it's your new users coming every day and how many users return on the next day or day 20 or day 30. So it's your retention rate. So generally speaking, you need just retention rate average revenue per user, your budget, and install to find out your ROI. So basically, all these numbers helps you to forecast it and plan your budget more smart way. Okay, in conclusion, we know that casual game marketing is not that easy as it seems. It's quite challenging. You need to think about your target audience, your campaign setup, how to do it, what type of creatives to use, what type of KPIs to track. And I'll share some aspects of marketing we're using for our game. And of course, it's not going to work for all games, but despite it's challenging, if you do it well, you have a chance to be on the top charts. Thank you. Your questions.
Thanks so much, Elena. So let me start off with one question based on the talk. Do you look at retention or revenue for a player past 30 days, or do you just stop at 30 and just see what the KPIs are like there?
You mean, do we check just day 30?
Past day 30.
After day 30. Yeah, of course, it depends. For retention rate, I say it depends on your game lifetime. So if it's longer than 30 days, you can check like day 60, day 90. We do. It's in a long-term perspective, always good to know how is your game performing.
Thank you. Please, you can take some time to approach her. She will be here, and then, you can talk to her in private. Thank you so much.
Thank you.